Please like, subscribe, and thank you. Welcome back to the Monk Investor.
Yo. Yo, son, come on. Yo, Omar's coming, man. Oh, shit!
Similar to Omar from The Wire, bear season causes fear, causes panic. But why do people fear what they don't understand? Understanding and embracing your fear is part of acceptance. And we all have choices to either accept or embrace. And on Wall Street, there's a cause and there's a reaction, such as the coronavirus when the news broke back in March 2020. That's when the Feds had to learn to play defense in the form of quantitative easing, a monetary policy. So that check you got last year, yeah, that one, that stimulus, that was part of QE, big baller. So we talked about defensive strategies as an economy and what Wall Street does. Let's talk about individual defensive strategies. Let's start with cash. Having cash on storage and at hand isn't always a bad thing. Always keep cash on the sidelines. You never know what the market presents. Cash is a position. Treat the stock market as you would Debo. When things get volatile, and they will, you want to put your money up. But when I say put your money up, that doesn't just mean to hold it. That means to be strategic with it and know when and how to use it. Even the great Warren Buffett uses cash as a position and sits it on the sideline. Warren Buffett, he uses cash strategically. He buys at all-time lows and he makes profit on all-time highs. Biggie Smalls said the more money, the more problems. That's incorrect. Having cash allows you to be strategic in your positions. Let's talk about bonds. Bonds are different. They're backed by the government. Let's talk about TBT, the 20-year Treasury bond. Look at TBT over the past year. It's been safe. Returns haven't been high, but they haven't been low. But also look at it over the past 5 years. And that's why you don't play it long term, you play it in short terms. Inflation. You've heard that word a lot. The power of the dollar. Deflation, inflation. What's the difference? Tips. This is a defensive strategy made just for inflation. Let's talk about it. Tips. Treasury, inflation, protected securities. This is government backed. So you see over the past 5 years, it's made 1406. That's pretty safe to me. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough. So this is a defensive strategy to use during inflation moments. Be careful about playing tips long term. You should only play it in increments. I've left a lot of clues, a lot of defensive strategies. Keep studying because these are things you need to know during a bear market. Let's talk about inverse correlations. You've heard it before. What exactly is it? Inverse correlations is two assets or two opposites that act in different directions. So when one's going up, the other's going down. They're contrary to each other and have a diverse relationship between two variables. So gold and the US dollar act in inverse correlation of each other. But sometimes the relationship changes. Sometimes they move in the same direction as each other. Let's take a look at the S&P 500, which tracks the top 500 companies. It was down on Friday, but yet the VIX was up. Why was that? Inverse correlations. Let's take a look at SPY, which mimics the S&P 500. State Street Global Advisors is the fund. And here's a brief summary of it. How do I invest into the S&P 500? SPY, which mimics it. These are some of the top companies in America: Amazon, Facebook, Alphabet, Wall Street. When Wall Street has fear, it's tracked by the VIX, which is another gauge called the fear gauge. So how do I profit from the fear gauge, or VIX as it's called? VXXX. So VXX is a short-term futures index. Contrary to popular belief, it's not an ETF. It's an exchange-traded note. It was up on Friday while the market was down, so you could have made profit. We've discussed them all. Cash is a position, TBT, tip, and VXX. Stocks, bonds, cash. Once you learn defensive strategies, the streets no longer look dark. These defensive strategies is just embracing the unknown. Everything that you once feared and accepted now is a bar to you. Bear season shouldn't scare you. It's no different than chess. They make a move, you make a move. Act in opposition. Chess, it's a thinking man's game. And Omar's coming. There's nothing you can do about it. You just have to be ready at all times.